Staff, members of the public, I declare the Ordinary Council meeting on the 27th of September 2023 open at 5:30 p.m. Please stand. I also acknowledge the Gadigal people as the traditional custodians of the land we're meeting on and recognise their strength, resilience and pay respect to their past, elders and present. I'd also like to take this acknowledgement for my appreciation for Councillor Keller, Councillor Zielke for their service as councillors. Also wish best luck to councillors who are running in the election and the new candidates who are running for the election. Thank you. Please be seated. Item 3. This meeting is being live streamed and audio recorded to facilitate community participation for minute-taking purposes, which may be released upon request to third parties. In accordance with Clause 616 of the Town of Port Hedland Standing Orders, Local Laws 2014, members of the public are not permitted to use any visual or audio electronic device or instrument to record the proceeding of any meeting unless that person has been given permission by the presiding member to do so. Members of the public are also reminded that in accordance with Clause 617-4 of Standing Orders, mobile phones must be switched off and not be used during the meeting. 3.1 Attendance. I note not all councillors are present and their attendance will be listed under 3.1 of the minutes. 3.2 Entertainers by telephone communications. Councillor Gillingham is joining us by Teams. Is she on yet that you know? She's still trying? Still working on that? Okay, thank you. 3.3 Apologies. We have 2 apologies this evening. Councillor Killer and Councillor Bennett are apologies. 3.4 Approved leave of absence. Do you have any approved leave of absence at all?
Yes, Mr Mayor, we do. The Deputy Mayor, Tim Turner, is an approved leave of absence.
Okay, thank you. 3.5 Disclosure of interest. Do CEO have any disclosure of interest at all?
No, I haven't received any disclosures of interest.
Okay, thank you, CEO. Item 4, application of approval of leave. CEO, are there any approved leave of absence at all?
No, Mr Mayor, there are none.
Okay, thank you. Item number 5, response to previous questions. 5.1, response to questions received at the Ordinary Council meeting held on the 30th of August 2023 have been provided to individuals and are detailed in the agenda. Item number 6, public time. Ladies and gentlemen, this is an opportunity of members of the public to ask questions of council in regard to tonight's agenda and business of the local government. Clause 6.7-3 of the Town of Port Hedland Standing Orders Local Laws requires members of the public wishing to ask questions to complete the question form and place the completed form in the tray provided. If myself, the presiding member, determines that questions and statements are out of order due to offensive or objectionable expression or defamatory, they will not be considered, recorded, nor responded to. 6.1 Public question time. I declare public question time open at 5:36 p.m. CEO, have you any public questions at all? Received any at all?
No, Mr Mayor, I haven't received any in advance.
Okay. Do any members of the public wish to ask any questions of council? Yes, Mr Blanco, please come forward, state your name and address for the record, please. Thank you.
Camillo Blanco, 18 Harwell Way, Wedgefield. At the last council meeting, the council deferred item 12.1.4, the budget review, to the 27th, which is today. Now that was, so in tonight's agenda it's come up again, but what I want to know is, did the council receive the attachments to that item?
I believe so, yes.
You did, okay. So then can you explain to me why the public did not receive the attachments? Because, you know, as of when I left home, I checked the website and the agenda is in there, but no attachments. And I remind you that, you know, under section 6.4 of the Act and regulation 34, that when the council receives the agenda papers with attachments, the public receive it at the same time. So then we can have a look at it as well. And I haven't been able to review the attachments or what you are doing in the budget review, or even in the next item, the item before, which is the monthly payments, because there's no attachments. So can I get an explanation as to why there's no attachments and why I could not review it?
I might take that on notice at the moment, Mr. Blanco, to get that
Okay,
information for you.
in that case, just an auxiliary question. I would recommend that the council defer the item until I can review the financial papers, and I'm assuming that you haven't received them, because the Act states quite clearly that when you receive them, I receive them, and there's been nothing in the there is no attachments in the Town of Port Hedland website. Next question. In 11.1.1, the Office of Recommendation 5, can you explain which section of 6.8 is specific to the amount that we're talking about in that item? 6.8 you've referenced in your agenda item, 6.8 of the Act. That could mean 6.81, A, B, or C, and they're totally different. Okay, so can you explain which one it is first, A, B, or C, and then can you explain the reason, the relevance to A, B, or C in the item? Okay.
CEO.
Would you like to take that on notice?
I'd like to ask the CEO to answer that for you.
Thank you. Through the Mayor. The reference to section 6.8 is that funds cannot be expended unless authorised in advance that are already within the budget. So I believe it's part C where it says unless authorised in advance. So because
Part C says authorised by the Mayor under emergency.
Well, my apologies, I haven't got the actual section of it in front of me, but there's three parts, you're correct. One is if it's an emergency, which this is not. This is referring it to council to be authorised by an absolute majority because it's not already in the adopted budget. So it has to be authorised as an amendment. That's why it's been brought up tonight. These are funds that have become available. So it's introducing the corresponding expenditure, which is not in the adopted budget. So it is to introduce an amendment which we're seeking council's authorisation by absolute majority.
Okay, can I just get a little bit more clarification on that? 6.8, in my opinion, is funds that have already been spent that need to come back to council for a absolute majority vote, or whether the Mayor has, approved them under emergency or something like that. So am I incorrect in that?
To the Mayor, that's certainly not how I've been using the amendment in the past. These are funds that have not been spent. We're looking to, the monies have been received, but we're looking to introduce the expenditure so it can be appropriately expended.
Okay, so could I get
I'll
clarification
give you
on my
one more
questions then
I'll give you
in
one more
relation
question.
to that?
Thank you.
Look, I'm going to ask some questions about the administration misleading the council. I want to get some answers in relation to why staff would hide complaints submitted by the public in relation to the 30th of August 23, item 12.3.1, the application for development approval for addition to single house home business for massage services. 5 Gibson Close, South Hedland. The complaint sent by email showed the premises as being used as a brothel. The information is omitted from the officer's recommendation. So what I want to know is why the planning department presented this item to the council with a recommendation of planning approval when brothels are clearly an ex-use in a residential area. Ex-use means prohibited. Now, I'll provide further details in public statement time, and I'm sure you'll take that on notice as well.
Thank you. Do you have any more public questions at all? Okay, I will close public question. Yes, sorry, Roger, come forward. Take your name and address. Thank you.
Roger Higgins, 19 Edgar Street. I was one of a number of Port Hedland Industrial Council attendees at the most recent meeting in September when the CEO did a presentation. During his presentation, he made specific reference to the development down there on the spoil bank and the fact that a caravan park was going to be part of that. My question tonight is what provision has been made for the sewerage and water supply to that particular event? He was quite firm in what he said, but my understanding is that this was never, it was talked about, but my understanding is that it was never actually approved. So can you tell me, is it going to be there as a caravan park or not?
Look, I can vaguely remember what the CEO was saying. I've read the report. I think it's going to be like a caravan park where you don't have, it's all self-contained. There's no toilets or sewage down there. I believe that is the case, Roger. But, I mean, if you like, I'll take it note, I'll get back to you on it, but I believe it's going to be like an overflow caravan park, but it must be self-sufficient and so forth and so forth, so there's no toilet facilities down there whatsoever.
Yeah. Can I just want to refine the question. My understanding is that if there is a planned caravan park there has to be some fairly significant planning to deal with the sewerage and the water supply there. And the question is, if the answer is yes, there is a caravan park, has that been approved and does council have to make some decision on that, or is it the state government that does
No, I think it's a proposal. We haven't actually had it come to council. It's a proposal. We haven't enough to come to council as yet, but I'll take that on notice and get back to you on it. No problems at all.
Right, thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Oh, sorry. Craig, do you want to answer that? Sorry.
Sorry, through the chair.
Yeah.
There is some internal discussion and investigation at the moment into some form of caravan park. Now, it may not be a caravan park set up similar to the likes of Cook Point or Blackrock. So we're actually investigating more of an eco-friendly style facility. In terms of provision of water, sewer, power, etc., they will be part of those, I suppose, investigations. But at this stage, there's no, I suppose, clear end point for us other than we're investigating what options are on the table.
Okay, thank you. Is that okay, Rod? Okay, thank you. Do you have any more public questions at all? Okay, I will close public question time at 5:46 p.m. 6.2 public statement time. I declare public statement time open at 5:46 p.m. Mr. CEO, have you received any public statements at all?
No, Mr Mayor, I haven't received any emails.
Thank you. Does any members of the public have any public statements at all? Please come forward, state your name and address for the record, please.
Okay, Roger Higgins, 19 Edgar Street. I'm glad that I can follow up with a statement to the question I've just asked. During the course of the CEO's presentation, once he made mention of that caravan park there, I then asked him, was he aware of a submission that myself and Chris Towsey, who was the former operations manager of the Seafarer Centre, had made to the Joint Select Committee on the Development of North Western Australia. Now, this came about when the bridge at Fitzroy Crossing was destroyed, in that I happened to, by chance, be coming over that bridge heading back here from Darwin less than 24 hours before it went down. And when I heard that it had gone down, I've came here from Darwin, or I've got relatives in Darwin, and so road link between here and Darwin is quite important. What then transpired was I tried to, back in 2014, I made a submission to the Joint Senate Select Committee then on the development of Northwestern Australia here. And we had the opportunity to actually make a verbal statement. And when I came back here, I couldn't find what I'd written because it had been, or what I'd said, because it was recorded in the Hansard. Now, in the Hansard, that was when I first raised the issue of a road linking Port Hedland back through Telfer to Alice Springs. And with the destruction of that bridge and the likelihood that something permanent is going to be a while in coming, that's why I wanted to refer to what I said back in 2014. And as I was on the phone, the man in Canberra said to me, look, are you aware that this committee's been reformed? I said, no, I wasn't. He said, well, I'd encourage you to make a new submission. So I rang Chris Towsey, who is a geologist, whereas I'm a dentist, and he knows more about these sorts of things than I do. And he reworked the whole thing, and that resulted in a document. And I'd really like councillors to have a look at this. You'll find it under the under the Joint Select Committee for the Development of Northwestern Australia. It's submission number 71. Now, I made the CEO aware of this, and he took down the information. And but then on the I think it was on the 14th of April of August just gone, Chris flew down from Brisbane and I drove up to Broome because we had the opportunity to make a presentation direct to the 5 federal politicians who were there. And in that, I made the point that this road, and this is where I'll link it to the caravan park potential down here, I'd like councillors to have a look at this proposal and really get behind it, because given what's happened with Fitzroy Crossing, the bridge, all these things here, and the wet, this road will serve as a massive boost to tourism to this place, because it will mean that people that can come from Adelaide up to Alice Springs come across here and then go back that way. What was significant was one of the 5 politicians to whom we spoke in Broome was the member for that part of Queensland which covers a place called Boulia. Now, Boulia is about 200 kilometres in round figures from the Stuart Highway, and there is a road which is under Stuart, part of which from Boulia to the Stuart Highway links the Stuart Highway about, I don't know, 50 or 30 kilometres, I don't know what the distance is, north of Alice Springs. So it would have the effect, if that road is going to come through here, of boosting tourism here in a really, really big way. And I said at the FIC meeting, I said, I know that this doesn't fit the model of industry. Industry wants this place to remain really as a FIFO place. But we need to, and this is where I need the support of councillors, to get behind this road. And if you read that, you'll see how important this could really become. Thank you.
Thank you, Roger. Thank you. Do you have any more public statements at all? Yes, Mr. Blanco, please come forward, state your name and address for the record, please. Thank you.
Camilo Blanco, 18 Howell Way. Is there anything wrong with the live streaming, do we know?
I believe we're still trying to get hold of Councillor Bellingham at the moment, of the live stream. Oh, live stream, sorry.
Live stream.
That's working.
I'm getting a few messages here saying that, well, I wasn't on the live stream and, you know, Roger's on. So, are we cancelling me out or something?
We'll get a check. No, we'll get a check for you.
No? Okay.
Thank you.
Look, I just want to, you know, talk again about the attachments to the financials. You know, there isn't many people in this town that actually look at this stuff. I do. And I expect that when council receives the attachments that, you know, the public does as well, so we can have a look. So, you know, again, I'm asking council to defer the financials until the public has a appropriate, you know, time to have a look at what's in there, because as you know, I have complained to you guys about the financials, and I've also complained to the Auditor General about it. So I want to make sure that you guys aren't approving stuff that you shouldn't be approving. And I can see that there's a lot of stuff in the financials that are going to be approved to give them the tick, and then the blame is going to come back onto council members. Now, as council members, you really should be acting on information provided by the public. That's your role, to uphold the high standard expected by the community. Now, I was approached by a member of the community on the 30th of August, on the 31st of August actually, after the council meeting, and he spoke about 12.3.1, the application for a home business massage parlour on 5 Gibson Close. Now, I could tell you some stories about what he, how he found out that this was a brothel, and it's got to do with him losing his cat, and he knocked on the door. So you can imagine how that conversation went. But now he told me on the day after the meeting, I had to go to his workshop to pick up some parts that had been delivered there for me. And he said, were you at the meeting? I said, yeah. He goes, oh, was that item passed? I said, yeah, it was. He goes, he said to me that was it's been used as a brothel. And I said, no way. That's just not allowed. So he sent me the paperwork and the correspondence between the town and himself. And I also have some text messages, because I still didn't believe him, right? So I've got some text messages confirming that it is in fact a brothel. Now, before I go into that, I will give you the info, because it's clear that the council did not receive it. So, all you need to read is page 4. Just flick over to page 4 and have a read of the ad. It's pretty good. So, the text messages, this is the next day, because we had to find out whether this was, legit or bogus, okay? Hi, how are you? Them. Very well. I'm not going to do any accents, by the way. Do you want to come over? Yes, please. I finish at 7:30 p.m. What do you offer? They said, what do you want? He said, sex. She said, yes, we can. So, there you go. Proof. The email trail is quite clear. You have it in front of you. A complaint has been submitted to the planning staff, but no complaint's been issued to the council in the agenda. The staff were well aware that this was a sex house because the advertisement was supplied to the planning department, which is very clear. You should have read it by now. I can read it out if you like. I've got no problem doing it, but it's pretty intense. Would you like me to do that?
No, that's okay.
Okay. We're all clear that it's a sex house? Right. The advert goes into what they can do, how much it's going to cost for a long time or a short time. Now, this doesn't comply with the planning codes. This is a clear indication that the staff are misleading the council and the community. I would have thought the item would have been revoked tonight, because a few days after the meeting, the CEO was told by a council member, who I gave this info to. But as normal, nothing's been done. So it's really up to you. And you should be revoking that decision tonight. You can do it with a motion. It's quite easy. But you also need to be asking why the planning staff are misleading you and the town. You need to be asking why the CEO didn't act by putting up a item to revoke. Ask if brothels are now allowed in the residential area of the town under the new Planning Scheme 7. Ask if the community consultation on this item included the fact that it was a brothel.
Initiated.
So you've got some work to do. And it starts by revoking the item. Now, one thing that I want to talk about as well is the way that the town is preparing the minutes. You know, for the last 15 or 20 years that I've been reading the Town of Port Hedland minutes, the statement time has been written out, word for word, basically, right? Now it is abbreviated with a couple of lines, dot points. And the issue with that is when people come back to read the minutes, you know, in 6 months' time, they've got no idea what it was all about. In actual fact, the way that the minutes are being presented in question time and statement time is misleading to what people are actually saying. So, again, it is your responsibility as council members to ensure that the minutes are true and correct. And, you know, I would suggest that you, you know, put an instruction to the administration to go back to how it was. Put the full text in there so people understand what is going on in the minutes. Thanks.
Thank you. Do we have any more public statements at all? I will close public statement time at 5:59 p.m. Councillor Gillingham, can you hear us okay?
Yes, I can. Thank you.
Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you for that. Okay, 6.3, petition, deputation, presentation, submission, there is nil. Item 7, question for members without notice. Are there any questions from elected members? Yes, Councillor Coles.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. First of all, I'd just like to acknowledge the outgoings of Councillor Zelke and Councillor Keller for not coming back, leaving town. And I'd just like to thank everything that you have actually done as well for the town for the last 3 years for Councillor Zelke, the passion that you've put into the community and everything that you've given towards the community, and for Councillor Keller, hopefully online you're listening in as well for your kind contribution as well. Just a question towards the town in regards to that, is the town going to be giving a small token of appreciation to outgoing councillors for their service, especially a 3-year service at that? Just anything small that they're planning on doing, especially considering Councillor Zelke will be leaving town as well, as a kind gesture towards his services, and just want to put that one there forward if something was going to be going ahead for that one there, please.
Thank you, Councillor Coles. I believe something has been arranged, yes, thank you. Do you have any other questions from councillors? Yes, councillors.
Through the chair, I'd like to also ask a question following up on public question time, is why the agenda attachments have not been supplied to the public.
CEO's one.
Yeah, thank you. Through the chair, I'll have to take that on the chin and apologise that the attachments weren't on the website with the agenda. Councillors receive the agenda and the minutes outside of the public website. Therefore, you've had the full agenda with the associated attachments for all the items before you. So, yeah, my apologies for that, and I just thank Mr Blanco for bringing that to my attention.
Okay, thank you. Yes, Councillor Christensen.
Sorry, just further clarification on that. So, are we talking about the attachments? I haven't been on the website. Obviously, I've been on our system. So, the information that's missing, is that on the suggested amendment to the review of the budget, or are we talking about this year, last month's financials?
All tonight's attachments.
All of tonight's. Oof.
Yeah. Yes, Councillor Gillingham, sorry.
Yes, thank you, Mayor Carter. I have three short questions, but firstly, regarding the finances there with the attachments, I do believe that our last briefing that we had, we were going to have extra briefing notes given to us as attachments. I cannot see them, that they've come through. So I'm thinking that Councillor Christian, that you've mentioned that other attachments haven't come through. That's why I can't see any extras after speaking where we all spoke together at our last briefing last Wednesday. So I'm assuming that that's correct. Is that right, that they have not come through, the extra attachments?
CEO, is it?
Thank you. Through the chair, post the workshop where I went, gave a presentation in a bit more detail as to the amendments to the 23-24 budget. Post that, I did put some additional wording within the resubmitted report for council to consider.
Okay, thank you for that. And I did notice also that the public hadn't received the attachments. So thank you for that, Acting CEO. Yes, thank you, Mayor Carter. I just wanted to say quickly about the WALGA conference. The WALGA conference, which attended just over a week ago with Councillor Eckhart and Councillor Christensen, and also CEO and Mayor, yourself, Mayor Carter. Look, the guest speakers were inspiring, especially the guest speaker, Dr. Jill Hicks, who was an Australian from South Australia. And it's really good. I think everybody should be able to perhaps go and listen to her speech. I believe it was recorded, and read up on Dr. Jill Hicks, because she was involved actually in a nasty bombing episode which happened in London when she was a younger woman and lost both lower parts of her legs. Look, she was so inspiring, and her address actually was to say that in her messages that when you are down, you get the chance to get back up and go forward. And I just think that this is just for everybody. So I just wanted to share that with everybody, Mayor Carter. And I'm not sure if you were actually in the conference at the time when she actually said her speech, but it was very, very inspiring. And I do hope everybody listens to that. And my second question is, I have noticed, Mayor Carter, that in your diary of last month, that on the 1st of August, you actually met with the Regional Development Australia and the organisation called HOABIN, which you did say over 2 months ago that we were going to have a presentation from this organisation. And also you met again with our Regional Development Australia on the 22nd of August. So we have had no comeback of this. And what is happening with this company? You said that was going to make a presentation to the council.
Yes, correct. When they arrive back in Australia, they'll do a presentation to council. Correct. Yes.
So this is a long time coming. So I do hope it's pretty soon. I think everybody would like to know. Thank you.
That's okay. Thank you.
My last is that we had our Purple Music Festival, which was coordinated this year with a very small committee. And I'd like to say that it actually went extremely well. It's a not-for-profit organisation, and some amazing performances that we had during the week. And I just want to say a big thank you and a shout out to the staff of the town of Port Hedland, because they've been absolutely incredibly helpful all the way through the process leading up to the dates of the 6th and the 10th of September, to the 10th of September. And I just want to thank all those staff involved in helping it happen, and also their help during the days of the festival, where they were actually given time to come and observe and help. And I'd like to say a big thank you from all the committee of the Pilbara Music Festival, that this was very, very much appreciated. So if you could please pass that on to the staff, that'd be very much appreciated. Thank you very much.
Will do. Thank you, Councillor Gillingham. Do you have any more public questions at all from councillors? No? Okay, thank you. Item 8, announcement by the presiding member of that discussion. The presiding members' meetings for the month of August are detailed in the agenda. Item number 9, declaration from all members have given due consideration to all matters contained in the business paper of the meeting. I invite all elected members to declare by show of hands that they have given due consideration to all matters contained within the agenda. May I have a show of hands, please? Thank you, councillors. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Thank you, councillors. Item number 10, confirmation of minutes of the previous meeting. We have an office recommendation before that council confirm the minutes of the ordinary council meeting held on Wednesday, the 30th of August 2023, a true and a correct record. Can I have a mover, please? Move. Thank you, Councillor Christensen. Can I have a seconder, please? Thank you, Councillor Urquhart. Any kind of questions? No. Thank you. Motion's passed. Thank you. Item number 11, reports from communities. There is nil. Item number 12, reports from officers. We have office recommendation before us that requires an absolute majority vote from council, being pursuant to section 6.4 of the Local Government Act 1995, that council, 1, receive a statement of range of activity for the period ending 30 July 2023, and 2, receive the mineral material variance report, and 3, note the accounts paid under delegated authority, and 4, receive a credit card statement for the period ending 30 July 2023, and 5, pursuant to section 6.8 of the Local Government Act 1995, authorises the town of Port Hedland 2023-2024 annual budget be amended. Can I have a mover, please?
Before we continue on.
Point of clarification, thank you.
Sorry, Councillor Gillingham.
Yeah, point of clarification. I just find it quite odd, Mayor Carter, that the Yandi Yarra Road reinstatement is not in an item of its own, and yet it's just actually put into this financial report.
Sure.
Sorry.
Through the chair, I can just expand upon that one. It is put in here thinking that it was a fairly straightforward budget amendment that has a descriptive paragraph around it. It potentially could have been its own standalone item, but it's simply monies that have been received to reinstate a road. It's got details in the report as to the length of that. Being considered a fairly routine budget amendment, it was included within the monthly financials. If it is a very substantive, there's a lot of detail, a lot of background, higher risk considerations, etc., it most certainly would have been its own standalone report.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Gillingham.
Sorry.
Sorry, Councillor Christensen. Yes, sorry. Yeah.
I'm happy to take the advice from the acting CEO whether or not we call a recess and have a discussion, whether we suspend standing orders to have this discussion. Can I get somebody from the administration to explain to us the ramifications or the legalities that were spoken around public not receiving information and us making a ruling on it, please? Because again, I was under the assumption we want to give the due consideration to the public to have a conversation and raise any points of orders on this themselves. So can I just get some clarification as to how we're going to continue on, please?
Sure. Through the chair, again, I apologise that the attachments weren't on the public website, and it's the first I've heard about that tonight. So my apologies for that. We certainly would have addressed that if it had come to our attention a lot earlier. As for council giving consideration when the public didn't, councillors have had the full agenda and the attachments since we released it last Friday. As usual practice and within the usual timing, and I guess as elected members on behalf of the community and the ratepayers around the table make decisions on their behalf, and having had the full information in front of yourselves, I guess the decision is really up to yourself if you wish to vote on it, but nothing is different from your point of view. You've had all the information for the item to be considered.
I just want to, if I may, respond to that. Yes, we get the information from the administration, and we get it a week out, and then it's delivered through a number of portals. I was of the understanding that when we get it, it also is uploaded to the Town of Port Hedland website for public access, which then allows the public to get in touch with their local member to have a discussion about it that we can bring to the table 4 days hence, which is tonight. Now, if that hasn't happened, I don't feel comfortable discussing this or even voting on this unless I've had some feedback from my community.
Would you like me to perhaps foreshadow, consider points 1 and 4 and delete point 5 of the item?
Through the chair, I personally just don't feel comfortable, the same as Councillor Eckhart has basically made it very well clear. The community, our ratepayers, have got a right to be able to view all financials, no matter what. When it gets delivered to us, it gets delivered to them, for them to scrutinise and go through. It's not up to us. If they've got some concerns, I would rather hear their concerns. They have got a right. They elected us, absolutely. But they have got a right for this information. If this information has not been delivered to them, I do not see us making any kind of formal judgment on this tonight without having them look at the information. So through the chair, I do not, at this stage, this needs to be tabled and brought back at a later date. This should not be brought and made us make a ruling on tonight when the community, and quite frankly, we've got a good amount of people here in the audience right now who have not had this information, who has not had a chance to read this information, and I'm looking at them nodding their head saying they would love this opportunity to be able to view this information. So for what I'm seeing in front of me from the community, I can't see us why this should not be made a decision tonight on.
Well, this will relate to the whole agenda item then.
Yeah, that's true. Yep.
I definitely would love my
Yeah,
community
and the
to have a
reports,
say.
the whole agenda and the reports as well.
Unless we've got an opportunity for the community to actually have a look through our agenda and show transparency to our community. And this is what we're elected for transparency. And transparency is number one through the community.
Just a point of order quickly. Can I please suggest that we move a motion to suspend standing orders so we can continue this discussion the way we are, please?
Yeah, I think we might just take a 20-minute recess, okay?
But before we, okay.
Yeah, can we just stop recording, please? It's going to take a 20-minute recess. Thank you.
Would you like a second?
Welcome back, everybody. Resolution number, Council's decision tonight, Council defers items 12.1.1, 12.1.2, 12.2.1, 12.2.2, 12.3.1 and 12.3.2 and consider them in a special council meeting which will be confirmed. Can I get a mover please on that? Councillor Christensen, a seconder, Councillor Urquhart. Thank you. Okay, moving on, 12.4, infrastructure services. Sorry. Oh, anyone against that motion? No, motion's carried. Okay, thank you, Councillor. Okay, 12.4, infrastructure services, there is nil. 12.5, executive services. Item number 13, okay, yeah. Item number 13, there are no motions of previous notice has been given. Item number 14, urgent business of urgent nature, there is nil. Item number 15, matters which a meeting will be closed, confidential matters. We have one confidential matter to be considered by Council tonight. We have offered a recommendation that Council close the meeting to members of the public as prescribed under section 5.23 of the Local Government Act 1995 to consider item 15.1. Can I have a mover please? Thank you, Councillor Zilke. May I have a seconder please? Thank you, Councillor Coles. Is anyone against? No. Motion is carried, absolute majority. As we now go into debate, I'll ask members of the public to close the public gallery at 6:29 p.m. Request 6:07 p.m. Read out the resolution for shadow. 6:07. 7:07. Is it the next Sunday? Okay. Yep. Okay, the council has considered one confidential report which has been resolved in the following. Of the recommendation that Council 1 note an independent review of the CEO Performance Review Working Group terms of reference outlined in attachment 1 and 2, request the CEO meet with Council to discuss the independent review and draft terms of reference required under Regulation 16 of the Local Government Administration Regulations 1996, and 3, refer to the agreed terms of reference at the Ordinary Council meeting on the 1st of November 2023 for consideration. The motion was passed 4-2. Okay, so item number 16, closure. 16.1, the date of the next council meeting will be held on Wednesday, the 1st of November 2023, commencing at 5:30 p.m. 16.2, closure. Being there no further business, I declare the meeting closed at 7:07 p.m. I'd like to thank council, members of the public, acting CEO for their attendance and their staff. Thank you.